What is a fire sale and why could it possibly lead to the collapse we've all been preparing for a long time? Stick around for the rest of the video. We're going to talk about what a fire sale is and the evidence that supports the fact that it could definitely be a possibility here in the near future. Hey everybody, it's Magic Prepper, and today we're talking about a fire sale, a cyber attack on the critical infrastructure of the country that could eventually lead to a collapse. This is a scenario that's been explored in movies like Die Hard 4, where the entire country was brought to its knees due to a cyber attack by a group of cyber terrorists who were looking to try to take control of the population of the United States and extort them for money. So that's what cyber hackers and attackers tend to do. They want to utilize their skills to acquire wealth and power. And that is definitely something that we could see happening more and more here, especially in relation to the events that have recently occurred. So if you're preparing for things to fall apart and you don't want to rely on critical infrastructure for the rest of your life because it's extremely vulnerable, then hit the subscribe button below, because these things are real. They used to be just science fiction ideas in movies, and now they're becoming a reality and they're happening right in front of your eyes. So you need to prepare and be ready for these things to happen. But if you're unaware of what these things are, it's hard to prepare for them properly, or at least it makes it more difficult to see the writing on the wall when they are about to occur. So, first and foremost, what is a fire sale in the sense of a cyber attack? Think of a fire sale, right? Everything must go. Well, in the sense of a cyber attack, that's the same kind of idea that's behind it, except for there's a few particular stages of this type of cyber attack that need to occur for it to be a cyber fire sale. So for that to occur, the first stage is going to be to shut down all transportation. And we're talking railways, traffic lights, airports. We're talking about anything related to transportation, subway systems. It's all gonna go down. So that's the first thing that happens in a fire sale. And obviously could create quite the disruption and create quite the calamity when it comes to the average person just trying to get around their day. And obviously these things are going to affect the urban areas a lot more. So if you're in an urban environment, you should definitely pay attention to this fire sale concept and be aware that it's a possibility of something that could affect you in the future and probably create an actual collapse at some point. So the second stage of a fire sale is to disable all the financial systems. Wall Street, banks, financial records, shut it all down. Get rid of it, delete everything, and basically throw the entire financial system that this country is currently operating on into a whirlwind of chaos and erase every debt that's out there and set the slate back to zero. So that is a huge implication for a country. It's going to just wreck an economy and ruin the structure of said country from the inside out. So keep that in mind, because that's something else that's part of a fire sale. Now here's the most interesting stage of this fire sale that is applicable to things that are happening right now, okay? And that's gonna be to turn off public utilities, electricity, gas lines, telecommunications, and satellite systems. Shut them down. That's stage 3 of a fire sale. Now, recently, we saw the Colonial pipeline attack shut down 45% of the gas supply to the east coast of the country. That's why this is applicable to what's happening right now, because basically what you just saw was possibly stage 3 of a fire sale. Now, we're not aware of the other stages occurring yet, so it's very likely that this was not indeed a fire sale. However, it showed the vulnerability and the possibility of an actual fire sale occurring at some point in time. Understand that if you get rid of all transportation and you get rid of all financial systems and then you get rid of all public utilities, you have just sent the slate back to zero. We're at Stone Age times once again, and the people are going to panic and chaos will ensue and things are going to get very bad very quickly. And that's the point of a fire sale. And basically you can see how easy this could be perpetrated, because it just was in some way or another, okay? So, the dark side hacker group attacked the Colonial pipeline and held it with ransomware. Like I said in the beginning of the video, money and power tends to be the root cause of these groups, these cyber terrorists, to acquire money and power. And that's exactly what this dark side hacker group did. They held the Colonial pipeline, ransom for $5 million, which was promptly paid in untraceable cryptocurrency to this group, okay? So, they accomplished their goals. They shut down a huge supply of fuel to an entire coast of this country, and it was all over money. And this could easily keep occurring, and there's historical precedent to show you that this has happened before as well. Other similar attacks have occurred, like the Black Energy Trojan that turned off the electricity for 230,000 people in Ukraine during the 2015 election cycle there. So look back at that time and see that an entire population of people had no power due to a cyber attack that was pulled off in a very similar manner as this dark side group attack was pulled off on the Colonial pipeline. And that precedent for public infrastructure being affected by these attacks and being shut down by these attacks, it's already there. And that's stage 3 of the fire sale, not even 1 or 2. So, what can we see happening here in the future? These people are actually winning. They're getting the money they're out to get, they're getting the power, the clout, and they're accomplishing their goal of whatever it is they want to do. Hey, let's shut down a gas pipeline. They'll have to pay us quickly in order to get things back up and running. They'll lose more money by not getting things back up and running than they will if they just pay us. So we know what the numbers are and we know what we can charge them in order to get us the money we want, while they also get what they want, which is back up and running faster. And that's exactly what they have shown the world now. And that group, the Dark Side Hacker Group, has actually attacked 3 other entities at this point in time. Now, the other thing that is important to keep in mind is that these groups have a Robin Hood-esque ideology. What that means is that they are completely fine with the concept of robbing the rich, stealing from the rich, and giving it to the poor. And that's the idealism that they operate under. They won't attack schools, they won't attack medical facilities, and they won't attack government agencies. They're only worried about private corporations. But regardless of virtue in those situations, and regardless of whatever public support they might garner due to those types of ideologies that they operate with, understand that private entities basically function everything that's related to a fire sale. Transportation, even the DMV is a private entity, okay? Keep that in mind. Then you move into the financial systems. Wall Street, private entity. Even the Federal Reserve is a private entity. And obviously infrastructure related to public utilities, aka gas lines and electricity and everything else, generally private entities. So yes, they have a certain ideology, but that ideology would allow them to still pull off a fire sale, whether or not it has any virtue behind it, okay? So keep in mind, this is a real threat that could definitely happen very soon here. And the precedent's already there for it to actually have already happened, but it just hasn't happened on a big scale yet. And with these cyber attacks and with this future of SHTF scenarios being possible, we have to understand as people who want to be prepared that this is a yet situation, not a if, but a when. When will this happen is a better question to ask, whether or not if it will happen, because these people are successful in their attacks. And the more people that see this success are going to come after it themselves as well. And that's exactly where we need to be focused on, in the sense of getting away from reliance on the transportation system, getting away from reliance on the financial system, and getting away from reliance on public utilities. And those are the 3 things that could shut down and turn the collapse up to high. And we all know that preparing for a societal collapse is something that we definitely work towards here in the prepper community. And this societal collapse would happen extremely fast if all those institutions suddenly disappeared overnight. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. There's another great channel on YouTube called Guns Coast to Coast. He actually just recently addressed the fire sale as well. And I thought, hey man, that's the topic that I wanted to talk about. But he got it out first, and I wanted to mention that if you want to listen to somebody else's point of view and perspective, whether or not you always agree with it, it helps open your mind to other ideas. And I think he has some great points and some great perspectives on a lot of the topics surrounding preparation. So check out his channel and tell him Magic Prepper sent you. But if you have anything else to add about the possibility of a fire sale, leave it in the comments below. If you're a huge Die Hard fan and you've already seen the movie and you're like, dude, I totally know what a fire sale is, also leave that in the comments below, because that's why I bought my first Beretta. But without anything else to say about a fire sale, that's going to be it for Magic Prep.